Hi, welcome to SBR Sports Picks. I'm Peter Loshak. His name is Mike Brenner. We are the Odds Couple. We come from SportsbookReview.com. Today's Wednesday, December 28th, and we are joined once again by Jeff from BMOCWins.com, who's going to help us find some winners on this huge college basketball card. This is the College Basketball Odds Couple show for Wednesday, December 28th. We all had a pretty successful day yesterday, but let's save the congratulations for self-congratulations for when there's a lighter card, because we got about 40 or 50 games. I didn't have a chance to look at any of the totals, but I did get a chance to look at all the spreads. There's a bunch of things I'm thinking about, a bunch of things I'm liking. First, quick, Jeffo, you looked at this card. How many are you liking here?
I got 3 plays.
3 plays. Mike Brenner, did you look at this card?
I sure did, and I got two plays today.
All right, so I guess we can, because I want to kind of ask your opinions on all of them. Well, let's start. The first one is NC State is a team that, Mike Brenner, you had a winner with recently. Obviously, their last 2 wins are very, very eye-popping. I thought that they might be a good bet, on the full game. I did bet that one a little bit, maybe more so on the first half against, who are they playing? St. Peter's, I believe. Ryder, that's right. Yeah. Big man, what do you think about that?
Yeah, I like that play a lot.
Is that one of your plays?
It's not one of my plays, but I considered making that one of my plays.
Yeah, Mike Brenner, is that one of your plays?
Right here, baby. First half, North Carolina State versus Ryder.
They're
getting ready for ACC play. All right, they've got 2 forwards, Rowan and Yurtseven. Right, this Yurtseven is he's a freshman. He's 7 foot tall, Pistol Pete. All right, they're back and they're getting ready for ACC play, which starts Saturday. They've won 5 straight. They're 5-4 ATS. All right, they're 12-3 all time against the MAAC. I don't think there's anything Ryder has. This team's picking up momentum. They're starting early. I think the first half's an absolute gem.
I think so as well. And also Ryder is very vulnerable. So it's a little bit of a high total, a high line, but I'll take it. It's 10 minus 113.
I'm all right with that.
I'm
I
on it with
9
you.
or 9.5.
I'm on it with you, Mike Brenner. All right, let's quickly get one of Big Man's top plays for the day.
Heck yeah.
Mike or Peter, what do you have for Villanova first half?
Wow.
Villanova first half. The problem with line shopping when it's a mass. It's 15.
See, there was no problem. You handled that one like a champ.
Well, it was a one. Yeah,
15.
I was waiting for that one, Peter. I'm going to go with them today against DePaul. I've faded DePaul the last 2 games. They are a bet against road team. They are awful on the road, guys. This team shooting 31% on the road this year from 3, 15%. Just not good enough. It's really pathetic. They're no good on the road. They're not worth backing. They have not covered on the road this year. Villanova, first Big East game at home. Haven't played for a couple days. DePaul's off of Las Vegas trip that they lost 2 games by double digits to inferior opponents. Now they're going to face a Villanova team that's just firing on all cylinders right now. I think DePaul comes in and gets smacked in the mouth from the beginning. And you have to look at the point of DePaul on the road this year in the first half being outscored 40-23. I mean, just not good enough. I'm going to go with Villanova. I think they battered DePaul. I think they're up by close to 20 here.
I was leaning that way myself. The only problem, which I'm sure you're aware of, is that Villanova, as a big favorite like this, as a huge favorite, has not done that well ATS, and including in the first halves. Their first halves, they're up by
Wright does not push them hard like that, and I don't know why. They bit me in the ass, but I got a feeling this could be that day when it's your first. All right, it's the first conference game.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. That
might make a difference. But those stats with DePaul, I mean, putrid, 15% from that. That's a dumpster fire, as Big Man would say.
But we have seen a lot of 12-point, 10-point margins.
I wouldn't talk them off it, and I wanted to jump on it, but I got to watch them a couple more games. I think it's conference play cranks up. Jay Wright turns the offense loose early, but today could be that day. Yeah.
Big Man, you have anything to say about that? You're not worried about what we just said?
Yeah, I mean, I guess I am. Yeah. It definitely is concerning, but, you look at the fact, like you said, it's the first conference game. I think they're going to want to come out and really kind of open up a big lead. And look, Villanova's opened up big leads this year. I mean, they've had some big margins. So I hope that they do, and I think DePaul's lost here.
Yeah, that was a borderline play for me as well. I'm not going to go on it, but that was definitely a borderline play for me. All right, there's so many games I could ask you guys about. The other one that I'm thinking about, let's just quickly touch on it. Notre Dame and St. Peter's, obviously another first half potential there. What do you think, Mike Brenner? Is that a little bit too high?
Yeah, I looked deep into it, and Mike Bray, he's got this team believing and everything, but I got a feeling they might be a little overrated right now. That's my own opinion. Right. And an inferior opponent like St. Peter's could come in and just throw everything they have early. I looked at it, and then after I checked out some stats, I pulled the hell off.
All right, let's go to. Let me ask you about one other game that Big Man probably has a good read on. He likes to pay attention to all these Philadelphia area teams, and we have Drexel and Penn. I bet this one on the overnight. I was thinking Drexel plus 7.5 might be a play. What do you think, Big Man?
Yeah, I mean, Drexel's a new coach this year. They've kind of upped their tempo. I don't think Penn should really be laying 7 points to anyone. And these schools are separated literally by several blocks. I mean, they're right next to each other. This is a small rivalry in the city that these teams are going to get up for. Penn's just not. They're not worth it 7 points.
All right.
So I would definitely lay.
I'm throwing that one on there.
Get
Plus
in there.
7.5,
Pull
minus
that
106. And then just one other that I was thinking about, just because it's right underneath it. Let's just get to it right
one
now.
other.
Right. Wake Forest and Florida State. That's an interesting game. Florida State, obviously, a lot of depth there, a talented team. But Wake Forest can hang as well. They've had some good results. And I'm thinking about Wake Forest on the first half, which is about 4.5.
Yeah.
In fact, I'm definitely going to take it plus 4.5. Big man, what do you think about that? Any thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, if anyone can hang with Florida State offensively, it'd probably be Wake. 48% on the year.
Yeah.
They could definitely run with Florida State, and they're well coached. Danny Manning, a good coach. So
Manning, he's got them going.
Yeah, I think they could surprise.
All right, I'm adding that one as well. Mike Brenner, would you have another one for us?
My second pick is a 3-team, 6-point teaser. All right.
Okay, all right. Well, let's get to that in a second. Big man has 2 other picks. Big man, what's your second pick?
Peter, you're on fire today, by the way.
Well, it's just because there's a massive card here, and I want to get to all the
Colombian coffee I brought him.
No.
My mother-in-law came down, and I brought him some Colombian coffee. That's the real deal.
I like it. The energy's high today.
Oh,
I'm going to go second play. I'm going to go USC minus 12 against Oregon State. I've another fade play, Oregon State. This team, until they get their best player back, Trey Stinkle, they're not the same team. They can't score. They've had some this team lost to Savannah State at home, for God's sakes. Gave up 93 points in that game. This USC team, undefeated, looking good, shooting the ball particularly well, very up-tempo. They're not a team – Oregon State, not a team that can run. They're not going to run up and down the court. They can't match you scoring-wise. Not good in transition. I just think the Beavers, this is one of those things where they're not going to be able to keep up in this game. I think USC, another focused team right now, want to keep that undefeated record. They're going to win, and I think they're going to win in a big way. They're going to go on the road, go into a place in Oregon State where basketball right now is just they're just lost as a team. They're not playing well. They can't score. And against a team like I think USC goes in. And
what's the full game line on that? 12, right?
12 minus 106.
So what? Big man's going with the first half?
No, I'm going to go full game.
Full game, okay.
Minus 12, minus 106. All right, Mike Brenner. Sorry, I don't mean to rush it, but there's a lot. I want us to cover as much as we can.
Heck yeah.
Big man, Mike Brenner, what is your 3-team teaser?
Okay, you ready? Here we go, baby. I'm just going to put it out there. The numbers will come together.
Okay.
I'm going to be going with Providence, adding on top of 10.5. I'm going with Oregon State, adding on top of 12, because I don't think USC is going to blow them out. I think they get the win, but I'll take 16 on top of that. I mean 18. It'll be 18.
Okay. Yeah.
And also North Carolina State, baby. Yep.
Okay.
Feeling good about it.
Wow. All right. Well, we could get into a debate here, but I want to ask you guys some. Big man, first let's get Big Man's third pick, and then I want to ask you guys about a bunch of borderline plays just to get your feedback, and then we'll wrap up. Big man, what's your third pick?
I'm going to go with the Indiana State Sycamores. I mentioned them on the roundtable a couple weeks ago.
You did.
Like
playing Wichita State, though.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, and look, I know they've gotten battered over the years by Wichita State. Keep in mind, though, this is not the same Wichita State that we've been accustomed to seeing.
No, it's not.
Van Fleet, Ron Baker are all gone. This Indiana State team already beat Butler this year, took Indiana State to the cleaners. They're a team that's covered 6 of 7 as an underdog this year.
And they're at home, right?
Yes.
Yes, they're at home. They're senior laden. They're a team that can really kind of they're well-rounded. They can surprise you. They don't really look like a very good team, but at the end of the day, they've been together a long time. They can shoot the ball. And the three-point shot's going to be key here. Against Butler and Iowa State, they made 9 and 10 threes. If they can knock down the three ball, don't be surprised if Wichita State gets upset tonight. First conference game, Indiana State at home is going to be ready to go. They haven't played in a week. Watch out for the Sycamores.
All right, but let me ask you about this. After the Butler win was awesome, right? But after that, as I'm sure you know, they had 3 straight pretty massive ATS duds, a couple of straight-up losses. Since that Butler game, they've lost by ATS all of their games by a mile. Now, obviously, that's going to turn around at some point, but it hasn't turned around yet.
Right. It's definitely concerning. One thing is obviously maybe a letdown after that one. Second of all, they did lose a player, TJ Bell, personal reasons. He left the team. He's a senior. He scores about 8 points a game. That's obviously, concerning. I don't know what happened there. But, yeah, look, Peter, they're 6-6.
Yeah.
They've had some questionable games. But I look at some of the games against better opponents. They've came to play. They've been right there. So I'm going to think that they can hang around here and cover the number.
All right, so that line right now is 11.5 minus 106. That's the pinnacle line right now. All right, now a couple of things I want to add. Well, first of all, the first game, everyone's going to be wondering about this, so let's just talk about it. UCLA and Oregon. UCLA, obviously, just a juggernaut, an impressive team.
Slowing down the last couple games
now,
offensively.
They're going. And Oregon has been very shaky this year so far, but now it's a big time game. They're going to be at home. They're getting a small number. It's a little bit of a suspicious number, tempting to take UCLA. First, let's go to Big Man. What do you think?
Yeah, this is really a tough game. I actually considered really heavily backing Oregon here. The problem is UCLA getting Thomas Welsh back. Yeah. Without him, he's been a guy they haven't had in the interior. They really haven't had much of a center presence. I think getting him back, I think they win the game and cover. It's going to be a great game, though. UCLA really hasn't been tested this year much other than Kentucky and one or two other games. And Mike said, like good point Mike said, they didn't look particularly good against Western Michigan last game out. They weren't particularly sharp, didn't play great defense. Oregon's going to be able to score. I wish I was getting 4 or 5. I would definitely take Oregon. But getting Welsh back, I think that puts them over the top. Could be a great game, though.
That's a tricky line.
And Welsh is definitely back. Is that correct?
Yeah, all indications are he's going to play tonight. He's available.
Yeah, the big man needs to be up there. And I also read to where Steve Alford said he wants to get back to that pace. He called it that pace. And the last couple games, especially Western Michigan. So, you know what? You may see them coming out early and often. That's a tough one. Damn, that's a tough one.
Oregon's starting to build their wins up at home. They've been at home for a while.
I know.
Got 2 big games, UCLA and USC.
Yeah, they're ranked. If you're ranked, you're going to have some momentum. It's going to be a tough one. It's damn sure going to be a good one to watch.
A couple more questions. I took Temple as a home dog to Cincinnati at plus 4.5. Now it's down to 3.5. Cincinnati almost lost to Marshall, of course.
I know.
Cincinnati is a quality team, but so is Temple. I know they have an injury to their point guard, but what do you think about Temple getting 3.5?
If Obi Echinenwa plays, no way. There's no way I back Temple here. If he doesn't play, he's their whole team. He's the best player on the court. But listen, Peter, the real question is it the Temple that beat West Virginia and Florida State or the Temple that lost to New Hampshire at home? That's kind of the big question. I follow this team. I'm a fan of this team. I'm very annoyed by them. They frustrated me this year. I just don't know the right team. I don't know what team they are.
There you go.
Really
Great insight.
No,
this is why we have them on. All right,
exactly.
So while we have them on, let me ask about all the others. All right, Purdue, obviously a very impressive team, and Iowa kind of shaky. I'm thinking about Purdue minus 12 or on the first half. What do you think? Purdue's had some nice covers recently by margins.
Yeah, but I was playing better, Peter. Ever since that win against Iowa State, they have really ramped it up. The defensive play has been a lot better. Peter Jock, best player on the court, if you ask me.
Got a little banged up, though, in his last game.
Yeah, and you know what? It's hard to cover those 2 down low. Isaac Swanigan, fantastic. I'm not sure that Purdue or Iowa has the bigs that can bang with those guys.
What's that full game line?
Well, it's 12.
I'm very high on Purdue.
Cutting a little bit close. It's borderline. It's borderline. Yeah. All right. Then the next one I want to ask about very quickly. NC Wilmington, obviously a team that was great last year. I took them at plus 8 against Clemson. Now it's down to about 7 or 7.5. Clemson, a quality team as well, but NCW can hang with these kinds of teams. What do you think about NC Wilmington?
Any team that scores 89 points a game, I'm looking to back. They play a nice pressure defense.
Like that.
Going to bother Clemson a little bit. I think that's a live dog. One thing, Clemson very good defensively. UNC not very good defensively. I don't know. It's a tough one.
These are all they are tough ones. You're picking some tough ones there, buddy.
And then
I'm not one to back Clemson, fading Clemson at home.
All right, and then just one more, which I think I am going to give. USF against ECU. USF is, they lost their top scorer. He was a controversial guy. This might be one of those teams that's where they get a little bit of addition by subtraction, and ECU is a team that is definitely not that impressive. They had a big loss to, I think, Charleston recently. They're just a team that I'm not backing as a favorite. The number is 7 or 7.5, and I think I'm going to take I understand the South Florida lost, 8 actually. I think I'm going to take I'm definitely going to take South Florida plus 8 minus 106.
Pull that trigger.
Do you have anything to say about that one quickly?
I mean, without McMurray, it's tough. But I mean, maybe I think under's a good play. But I don't know. ECU, this team is brutal. 37 points they scored against Charleston.
Exactly.
What was that all about?
Exactly.
I would take South Florida.
All right, I'm taking South Florida. I understand why the line is moved. I'll take them. I'll throw them on there. What the hell? Plus
what about
8,
that other one?
Minus 106. Well, the only other one is the over in Indiana, Nebraska. Indiana, I think, obviously. But now I'll hold off on that one because Nebraska did hold Creighton down to a moderate scoring game. So that's it for me. That's it for Big Man. And that's it for you, Mike Brenner.
That's it for me. I enjoyed the ride, though, Pistol Pete. You're fired up today. I love it.
Big Man, thanks for answering all my questions about I can just pick any game out of this 50-card slate, and he's got something to say.
Love it.
Jeff from BMOCWins.com, Mike Brenner, thanks so much, and we'll be back tomorrow for the Thursday card.
Thanks, big man.
Research before you bet. Be sure to check out SPR Picks for the best game predictions, breakdowns, and much, much more.